Okay, so this is an important teaching that I want to go through. We just did some sparring the other day, and this is kind of related to that. So we're working on our core, our stomach. So this is a strong part of the body. Now this bone right here is very sensitive, so you don't want to get hit there. All right. Anything below right here is really bad too. But here we do a lot of ab exercises. We train this to be strong. So in sparring, there's 5 levels that we do in here, or actually 4, but there's 5 different levels that I consider. There's no contact, touch contact, light contact, medium contact, and hard contact. So there's 5 different levels. Hard contact I associate with like just all-out fighting, just on the streets. Like no contact is just basically like very beginners level sparring where you just don't make any contact at all. Light contact, there's going to be some contact, light hitting. Medium contact is the hardest that we go in here, which is basically like not hard but not light, but kind of in between. Okay, so in training the stomach, we'll use Osho Zen as an example. Like say we do an arm wrestling, right? You see who's stronger and who can beat each other in an arm wrestle. Nobody's supposed to get hurt. It's just a test of strength. Now look at conditioning of the abs. So say I hit him, boom, with the say I go light contact. I hit him, boom, right there in the stomach, and he's supposed to learn how to breathe out when he gets hit. So when you get hit in the stomach, you breathe out through your mouth, like that, right? And then he's going to hit me right back with exactly how much force. Try to hit me back exactly with as much force as I just hit you. And then we go back and forth until someone stops. You know what I'm saying? So say someone says, like, you know, I can't take it anymore. So basically, that's just basically like you doing as many sit-ups as you can and you can't do anymore. Everybody has their limitations. So no matter how strong I am, if somebody hits me like too hard, I'm going to be like, all right, that's good. Like, that's enough for now. So everybody's going to get a chance to do it. You get to decide how hard you're going to get hit. So if you can't take anymore, you can't take anymore. So what we do is just start out with no contact. So this is like, say we're doing no contact sparring. Like, that means like I throw a punch, but then I don't, I hold my punch back so you don't get hit. But then you can still learn like good blocking techniques. Like, you know, you can still like learn how to get out the way, learn how to block. But the problem is that say I could have hit him, but then I didn't because I held back. Then he's not really learning that much because now he's wondering, did I really block that or could he have gotten through the punch, right? So we have to learn how to be able to do no contact. We have to be able to do touch contact, light, medium, and hard. So what we're going to do, the test right now, is to see how much you can take here and up to what level. So I'll go no contact, then we go back and forth. Then touch, and then light, and then medium, and then we go hard. And if we go hard, then we could go to level 6, level 7, just keep going until somebody says stop. Right? So I'll start off with no contact. So no contact in sparring is you go fast and hard, but you still hold back. You don't hit them. So it's like this. So I accidentally touched them a little bit, but I'll just do it again without hitting them. That, right? And then you do the same to me. Yeah, so then you still time the breath when you hit. So you ready for touch? So this will be touch. So still fast, but you hold back the force by just touching.
Fist or palm?
Just fingers. Yeah. All right, you ready for light? Yes or no? You don't want it, you don't have to.
Yes, yes.
All right. So this is light. Still fast, but I still make it like whip light, so I don't really hit him that hard, but I kind of tag him a little bit. Yeah, so that was light. Medium?
Okay.
So a little bit harder now. So now I got a little bit harder than light.
That kind of hurt though.
A little harder than light, but not hard. Medium. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so then his objective is to hit me back just as hard. Yeah. Hard or no?
That's good.
Okay. So that's kind of like you want to have control of your techniques like that, and then it's just kind of training the abs. And then just basically the learning of progression from no contact, touch contact, light, medium, and then hard. And then basically it's kind of similar to that power twister thing. It's like levels of progression. So that's how sparring goes. And then also the building of conditioning. So like right now, it's all controlled. We're hitting exactly where we're directing them to. If he would have hit me up here, it would have hurt a lot. Hit me down here, it would hurt a lot. But there's certain parts of the body that can take more damage, like the forearms, the thighs, the shin, and the muscles over here, and the abs as well. Okay? Who wants to go next? Who wants
Next.
To
You're looking right at me. You see me trying to look other places.
All right. So no contact.
I was like, that's gonna be the bruise. Yeah.
Touch contact. So to get more power when we go harder, just have your leg back.
Oh, we're hitting with the back.
Yeah, so then you'll have a little more power to it. You want to do light? Yeah. Okay. Medium?
Sure.
All right. Hard or no?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so say that's 5. Do you want to go to 6?
I'm alright for now.
Alright, so that was hard, but it's still, of course, a held back power. So then basically, hard is 5, and then if you would have been 6, then I try to go a little bit more. Then 7, a little bit more. 8, a little bit more. 9, a little bit more. And then 10 is supposed to be like the absolute hardest. Obviously, it's going to be hard to assess power in that gauge, but the object is to be able to try to have that. Try to have like the scale of 1 to 10 for each technique. The jab, the front kick, the hook kick, the side kick, the hook, the crosses. It's tough, but it's something that we're aiming to do. But rather than having the scale from 1 to 10, we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no contact, touch, light, medium, hard. Right? So then you just keep trying to train your abs to get stronger. It's different than some people, like bodybuilders, they could have like really ripped abs and they can do a lot of sit-ups, but it doesn't mean that they could take punches because it's a different type of training. So this is a way to kind of get there. Okay? You can stop at no contact. Just at least get used to like timing your breath and then breathing out when you see the punch coming. No contact,
I
right?
got your bat belt on too.
Bat belt.
Sorry.
That's fine. So he touched a little bit, so then that's something that we could work on. When you say no contact, try not to make contact at all. So try it again. So that's more like accuracy thing. Alright, so the problem with he held it too far back, you want to get close to them to simulate like a real punch. Because if say I'm throwing punches at him from here, it's not realistic enough. But if I throw it all the way up to here, it gets it more realistic because it's getting closer to him. So let's try it again. Get closer, like an inch away. Yeah, but he wants to work on more speed. Do you want to do touch or no?
Yeah.
Okay. That's touch. Okay. Do you want to do light or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember to breathe out.
Yeah. Medium?
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. Hard or no?
Okay.
Hard?
Yeah.
Alright.
Breathe out.
Yeah.
Got it? You okay?
Breathe out.
There you go.
If you're holding it and he forces you to breathe out, that hurts a lot.
Good. 6?
No.
All right. Good job, man.
I'm not gonna have you send me through the wall.
Yeah.
All right, so also notice that we're not doing this with the head.
Right.
You know, there's videos out there where they have slap competitions, where the guy's just standing across the table, and then they hit him as hard as they possibly can with a slap, and then they take turns doing that. Obviously, you see like the stupidity of that. Like, we're not doing that. We're training the muscle. So this is just a way of training the abs. Like, we're not going to get CTE by doing this. But if we did that to the head, then it'll be a different story. But when we spar, we can't say, oh, we're scared to get dementia or CTE, so we're just not going to hit to the face. And then it's not being realistic. It's almost like, why even spar then? So, but the difference with sparring, you're actually trying to get out the way, you're blocking, you're moving, and you're preventing yourself from getting hit, so it makes it less dangerous. But we're not going to play stupid games where we're going to hit each other as hard as you can and get across the face and stuff like that. But in this abs is something that training. So if you learn how to get away from the punches to the stomach, then learn how to get it from away from the head as well. But this is conditioning. This is learning how to gauge your progression of your execution of techniques from a beginner's level to an advanced level. All right, so no contact. So once again, he wants to, even though there's no contact, he still needs to learn how to make it more realistic because he's not getting full speed and he's leaving his arm out there. And then have your other leg back, yeah, that leg, so you get a harder punch in. Okay. So basically the whole objective, like if you guys did no contact sparring with somebody, the whole objective is to try to go as fast as you can but still don't make contact, so you make it more real. But if you guys like do it super slow, it's just too, it's not realistic enough. Alright, so do it again. Cock it back. Boom. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so touch contact. Light or no? Medium or no?
Did you go up to medium, bro?
He went up to hard.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. Gotta go where you can go, Chris. Go where you can
He weighs
go.
more too. Like if somebody weighs more, they could take more damage. So don't feel too bad if you don't.
We'll say more force instead of more damage. Take
You
more.
want him?
Yeah, we're really light right now. We're still light, right?
No, it's medium.
Medium. All right, medium.
You ready to breathe out, Chris? Breathe out.
Relax.
Yeah.
Alright?
Plug it off.
You gotta get used to it. You've never done this before. That's why. That's why we're practicing.
You were scared of it and you tensed up.
Yeah, yeah,
You gotta stay loose, stay like
Yeah.
bent legs and kind of let it.
yeah.
You're getting hit. You're letting your belly get hit. You're not letting your ab, like, you're not flexing.
You're
No,
flexing.
you are flexing.
You are flexing.
Well, I
You're
did
def-
flex then, right?
Yeah, you gotta flex and you gotta breathe out. This takes.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing it. It takes practice.
Yeah.
Like it's good to kind of get used to this, so then when it happens in sparring, it doesn't throw you off. Some
Yeah.
people that I've sparred, they get the wind knocked out of them, and that's not good. So you want to learn how to like take a hit, you
Yeah.
know. And this is not like another thing that's showing we're not getting angry at each other. This is just he's giving me permission. We all talked about it. Do you want medium? I gave him medium. You know.
Yeah.
So there's no need to get upset about it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, this is taking the emotions out of it. It's just pure conditioning for this part of the body, you know. You ready?
If there's-
Yeah, you get a hit in your back.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I'm still trying to figure out how to take it.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And if I
But
can,
get used to, you gotta get used to throwing it too.
yeah. And then if I can speak from observing seafood.
Yeah.
So what I'm noticing is with you and with Greg, I noticed there was control and tightening in the abs, but I saw a lot of relaxation and melting. So it's a way of still contracting, but still giving into You know, I mean, you can't see.
Trinity will be next as a demo.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can give technique, but I can't take the power.
Look, I'm gonna do it with her too.
Oh, my God. I don't know how y'all do that.
All right, come on.
Okay.
You harder. That was just light.
That was just like,
Yeah, do me. Yeah,
oh, you
yeah, that's good.
feel bad doing it.
No, don't.
I know it's not emotional, but I still feel like.
Do you wanna
there's
try?
a lot of impact right there.
Sure, I'll stop at light.
Okay.
He said he wanted him.
Yeah.
It
And
is-
then what I'll do, I'm gonna let you guys get a feel like I want you guys to hit harder and then see like how much I can take. So you guys can get a feeling like you don't have to feel bad when you're hitting hard. It just depends on if I can take it or not. If I can't take it, I'll tell you. You know. So. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't want you to get hurt. No contact.
Get the milk.
So cock it back, try to cock it back. So I want you guys to get used to, if you guys ever do no contact, to try to make it realistic with that speed. Because the problem is when you say no contact, the people slow it down and it's just not realistic. But if somebody that's highly skilled, they can like stop at like, boom, like right on the dime. And then it's like, oh, like wow, you know, it gives them that person ability to learn. So if you don't have that control of your body, then that's something that you need to develop. So sometimes you might punch against the wall and see how close you can get without making contact. Because that shows like efficiency and control of your body. It takes practice too.
When we're actually sparring, or if we were to get into an altercation, would we cock back like that? Wouldn't they be able to read where?
No, you're talking about, I'm saying cock back after the punch. Because you're like
Oh,
leaving
pull
it out
back.
there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, so pull it back. Gotcha.
That's better. So she made it like a little, there's touch contact. Do it again with no contact. Yeah, there you go. Touch contact's next. Just touch with the fingers.
Fingers.
There you go. You ready for light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Milk, milk, milk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During, not after.
Light contact.
Okay.
Right here,
Okay,
right?
okay. Yeah, I'm just getting it ready. Okay.
You okay? A little too high, lower.
Okay.
And you can hit a little harder. You can hit a little harder. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not used to hitting people, I'm used to
Yeah,
healing people.
that's the thing, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Alright, that's good. Yeah, so, like, even though I can take a lot here, if they went just a little bit higher up, I won't be able to take it. It's that much of a change. Do you want to go medium or no? Okay, so, film again. Alright, now I want everybody to come in and just hit me harder and harder and harder until I say stop. So you kind of get a feeling of what it feels to hit like a real person with more power. There's difference in hitting Bob, you know, he's not a living object. The punching bag, the boards, they're not living. When you hit a person as hard as you can, it's a different feeling. So I'll tell you if you hit me too hard, and then I'll tell you to stop. Just make sure that you're hitting the right spot. Like don't hit up and don't hit low.
Yeah.
The dragon circle.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
So go. You're number 6. You're
I'm number 6.
Yeah, you're number 6.
You took it?
Yeah, I took it.
7. See if you could go. 10 will be the absolute hardest that you can hit.
Okay.
So go to 7.
And the dragon's belly.
8. 9. 10. And notice he's giving me time to recuperate because some people they just keep hitting. I don't have time to like breathe. So it's good that he gives me time so I can get ready for the punch, and then I can time the breath out. Last one, hit as hard as you can.
Okay.
Good. All right, so I could take that, you know. So if we spar, like, you don't have to feel bad if you hit me hard, like, especially when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? It's just different things. Like I was telling Shazay the other day, like think about it when we're doing bench press. Like when you guys are doing it with Jan, you guys are like 135, and you guys are doing pretty good at that. But for me, like I could rep like 200 or something like that, right? So the 135 would be considered light to me, and then 200 is considered heavy for me. But for you guys, 95 would be considered light. Somebody else, 225 is considered light. 300 is what their max is. So it's like if you increase your bench, you increase your squat, you increase your pull-ups, it increases your overall like ability to kind of like take more damage when you're sparring. So like this is like a level of progression, and this is things that we can practice day to day. Like after our fitness, you could ask somebody, hey, why don't you just hit me in the stomach like 10 times so I could time my breath and work in my abs a little bit. Okay. You want to go? 6. Do it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now if I say stop, it might be because he went first. Not necessarily because you're stronger. You know what I'm saying?
Look, just take the fire out from me, right, Sifu? Just take the fire.
We'll see who can make me stop.
Oh my God.
Warm out.
7. 8. 9. 10. Hardest. You're good.
So you let.
No, I can still take more. You can hit harder, basically. You know, to train to hit harder. There's people that made me stop. You know, like bigger people. But like I said, if you guys hit too high, then I'll stop quick. If you hit here, I can take a lot.
Or even the angle. Like
Say
if,
again?
if you were to hit that same spot, but hit it on like a downward angle with the knuckle into the top of the bladder, like
Yeah.
that, there's not much conditioning for that either.
Yeah, like right there is strong. But yeah, you switch it up a little bit and then it changes everything.
Yeah.
Like say, like the groin area, I mean, you get hit there and then it can end the fight, you know? So, alright, number 6, Shazay. Shazay might be able to make me stop, we'll see. 7. 8. 9. 10. Last one. Hit as hard as you can. That's good. 6. 7. 8. 9. Hardest. Alright, that was a little high, but it was good. I'll stick
Okay,
it.
now side kicks.
But yeah, I mean that's part of the development. I just hope you guys learn like how we spar in here. You know, like the different levels of progression. And you know, like I told Greg, you know, like when people spar with me, like I'm gonna go harder because I'm supposed to. But when you guys spar with amongst each other, you guys kind of build up. Like it doesn't make sense. You know your max is 155. Why are you gonna jump to 200? But you go up slowly. So as you develop better in sparring, then you be like, hey, you know, when you say I want to try to spar with you, Sifu, then no, I'm not gonna go light on you. I'm gonna go a little bit harder because you know I'm gonna show you something like a different. Because if I go light, just as light as Chris was going, then what's the point of sparring me? Just spar Chris. You know what I'm saying? So essentially what I want to do, it would be ideal, is say I'm like the level 10 sparring, and then there's another student that's level 9, and then 8, and then 7, and then 6, and then people have to build up. You just be like, you know what, I'm ready to spar this person now. Just like the top student list. Be like, you know what, I think I'm ready for the next person. Let me try to work with this
I
person.
think I played this video game.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the arm wrestle. You know, like if Jan is the best at it, then okay, we'll have him at the last. You gotta build up to yan, don't just jump to yan, you know, like, so same thing here, like just build up the sparring. When you feel like after a few months, be like, you know what, I think I'm getting better at these techniques, let me test it out. Let me see if this stuff works, you know, that I've been working on, okay? So I want you guys to learn about that, learn about conditioning, learn about how we spar here. Notice that we don't use any equipment, we're not using any gloves, we're not wearing cups, we're not wearing mouth guards. Like everything is just pure, you know, just like human to human, like contact. We're even wearing shoes. So sometimes people broke their toes while they're sparring here. Bolo hurt his toe breaking, or you know, kicking him. So our feet, our shoes are used as an advantage for us. Because imagine if you had no shoes on in this weather. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not realistic to spar without shoes because out there we always have shoes on. So you might as well use it to your advantage when you're trying to defend yourself. Don't like spar without shoes on unless you're going to walk out there without shoes. And if you're going to wear gloves in here, then wear gloves out there. But I'm not wearing gloves out there. I'm going to use my fist and the conditioning of my fist to my advantage to defend myself. Because if I had to hurt somebody with my fist, I could hurt them pretty bad because I conditioned to do that. So if you're not going to wear a mouth guard out there, then don't wear it in here. That's how I view it. Like we don't use the equipment because we don't want the equipment to serve as like the control. So say if I had like a boxing glove on and then we were like, all right, let's hit each other as hard as we can. Well, you're not truly hitting each other as hard as you can because the boxing glove is still serving as the unconscious control. Now we have conscious control. Like we have to like, all right, how hard do you want to go? Do you want to go light or medium? And then control it accordingly. Do you guys have any questions about anything that we went over? Okay. All right, if not, then that's good.
Sweet.